Hello and welcome to the News Flash on Rekobites Media. My name is Oris Daniel. In the news today, Mountain of Fire and Miracles founder Dr. Olukoya has debunked rumors making rounds on social media claiming that the church jailed one of her pastors for 9 years. Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministry and the General Overseer Dr. Daniel Olukoya have debunked claims that they framed and jailed the former pastor of the church. Dr. Olukoya, who is the church's General Overseer, spoke against multiple reports circulating on social media which called for his arrest and prosecution over alleged police torture and incarceration of one of the church's former branch pastors. It will be recalled that an online platform have called on the Nigerian police force to immediately arrest and prosecute the Mountain of Fire and Miracles church founder Dr. Olukoya for allegedly influencing the incarceration of one of the church's former branch pastors for 9 years without trial. The church's former branch pastor had accused the church of being behind his incarceration for 9 years without trial over alleged robbery. Mountain of Fire and Ministry's legal advisor in person of Barrister Davidson Debunks spoke extensively in a lengthy video shared on social media about all that transpired between the church's former branch pastor and the church. He said, and I quote, "The said pastor and 2 others were plotting on how to rob Mountain of Fire and Miracles offerings. I think one of the big events, first fruit offering or crossover offering as the case may be. And in their plan and plotting, there is nobody who would think, number 1, he has been in the ministry with some questionable issues where he was posted and he was disciplined by being transferred back to the headquarters. So he worked along with the others as traffic usher. So being a traffic usher, they understood the route and they know the movement of the ushers handling the offerings of the church. And for whatever reasons, that plan was being put together. So how the intelligence leaked was it was at the point that they were actually going to hire a gun. From when the matter got to the General Overseer, he was surprised, like how, who. And so the General Overseer had to immediately alert the CSO, who swung into action, invited some police to brief them. So they've actually drawn a map, the route of how the offerings of the church normally move, and at some point they needed to intercept. In fact, the gun that they needed to hire, the CSO, which normally lead the escorts that move the offering if there is going to be any form of obstruction, that's within the church, not the escort in terms of the armed police escort. So they need to gun him down. So those were the plan. The video was made in subsequent meeting. All of these are clearly available. And on the strength of these, they were arraigned before the courts. After the protracted 8 years case, they were let loose. They were allowed to go because prosecution couldn't sustain conviction on technical ground. Because in criminal jurisprudence, it is the principle that it is better for 99 guilty criminals to go free than to allow one innocent person. The said pastor went to court to basically sue for malicious prosecution and asked for 500 million damages because he believed that the fact that he was not convicted from that prosecution, he should have damages gotten. And evidences were put before the court. We didn't frame him up. Those are the things that happened. The fact that they were not, and from the case, the industrial court judge agreed with Mountain of Fire and Miracles that Mountain of Fire and Miracles did not prosecute the pastor, and the Mountain of Fire and Miracles had nothing to do with the fact that he was in detention for 8 years, and so you sue, you fail to be able to secure damages. However, because the Mountain of Fire and Miracles did not terminate the pastor's appointment for the 8 years, he can only succeed in getting what he is entitled to in terms of salary and allowance, and that was what the judge said we should calculate and give him. So this is how the case ended.